Alright guys, sorry I'm late. I'm traveling right now. See, I think this cuts off the screen a little bit. Let me make sure you guys can actually see this. There we go. I'll have to put my top step screen up in a minute too. Alright, let me know if the sound's running good. You should be able to hear the music as well. I can turn the music down. Again, my apologies for starting late. Alright, let me know if the sound's running good. Sound seems good to me. Yeah, my bad. I know I'm late. I'm sorry. I slept. Music's loud. Gotcha. Alright, that should be a little bit better. I can turn my voice up too, which I think I'm gonna have to. Alright. Let me know if that's good. That should be pretty good. I can turn my voice up more if I really need to. There we go. All right. Okay, guys. So I'm late, but I'm here. Yeah, sorry. I'm using my No, we don't have any reports today. Not really. They also canceled. So some breaking news that happened over the weekend is that they canceled this week's GDP data and PCE inflation data. So we were supposed to get GDP Q3 second estimate GDP data on Wednesday. We were supposed to get it at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now that's not coming out anymore on Wednesday. We were also supposed to get PCE inflation data on Wednesday, and that's not coming out anymore either. So unfortunately, it's the Bureau of Economic Analysis. They pushed that back. Unfortunately, so you know, no good, but that's how it goes, I think. All right, I'm logging into my Top Step information now. I don't know why I brought this computer. I think I brought my daughter's computer this time because my son's computer gave me problems the last time I was traveling, if I remember correctly. You know, so. All right. You can see Nvidia is sitting at like 180s. We take a look at like the SPY here this morning. SPY's, you know, it went up a little bit on Friday. So the SPY is still pretty elevated from Friday, 662. Nvidia is still down to 180s. But again, if we really look at it here, let me get myself out the way. I think it's probably a better move to put myself for these streams like over here, although the camera's wide on this computer. So I'm gonna make myself small today and just stick myself in the corner right here. It'll be easier. But yeah, Nvidia up to over 180s. Nvidia had a good day. It bounced all the way back. It hit 172s on Friday in the morning and then rebounded all day back up to 185s. You know, we have the NASDAQ here sitting at 24,476. Let me know if the stream runs well here. It should run good, to be honest. I have it set at about like 4,700 kilobits per second. That should be good. No drop frames here. We have it at 1080 as well. So in a second, I'm gonna have to go make my coffee. I think I'm gonna have to go like. I'm not at home right now. Yeah, companies are expected to perform at a high level regardless of adversity, but the government can't. Yeah, I'm in SoFi. I know I started late today. My bad, guys. But we're here. And we'll be up running well before PPI inflation data tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know why they canceled the data releases. Again, I was excited about GDP. We still have PPI inflation tomorrow. So we still have PPI inflation. And I think we also have retail sales tomorrow also, right? So we have PPI and retail sales tomorrow. So we still got stuff going on this week. And then Wednesday we have jobless claims and durable good orders anyway. And so we have stuff basically every day this week except for today in terms of economic releases. But yeah, I mean, for somebody that covers all the data, I would have liked us to have GDP Wednesday and PCE at 10, but that's how it goes, I think. It's life. And honestly, I'm used to no data. But today, I think the only thing we have today is we have the rescheduled industrial production number. If you take a look at yields, like if you take a look at like 10-year treasuries, they're sitting at about 4.1% right now. The odds of a rate cut have gone up substantially. I saw some members, they're sitting at about 4.05% right now. Technically, if we take a look at yields, they're at 4.046% right now, 4.046, so right around 4.5%. And they've dropped a lot since last week. Last week, the odds of a rate cut, late last week, the odds of rate cut, I think it was Friday, went up dramatically. If you look at the Fed watch tool, let me know if the music's good right now. Yeah, if you take a look at the Fed watch tool, it's currently at 74% roughly odds of a rate cut. So we're basically 75-25 likely that we're going to cut rates. Now, again, this could change. PPI inflation matters for this, but without GDP and without PCE inflation, which are a little bit more important, PPI is important. It's wholesale prices, but we'll see what happens to these odds. We'll see what we get for these odds. Let me exit out of some of this stuff. PPI's tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Don't beat up the substitute. I'll be waiting for the 50 base point. Music is good? Yeah, we should be okay. I can turn the music down if you need me to, but we should be okay. But yeah, 74% odds of a rate cut, 26% chance of a pause. I don't know if we're at all-time highs yet. NASDAQ's not at all-time highs. S&P's not at all-time highs. NVIDIA's not at all-time highs. Let me get Top Step up, and we can pull this up a little bit better. I'm gonna have to go make myself some coffee in a second as well. Tomorrow I'll probably see, it's weird. I'm trying to reset some of this, but whatever. I got so many codes to stream I gotta work on, so. Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, TOS is good. I can put multiple windows up here for now. There's the NASDAQ on the left. We could put like NVIDIA up. And again, we're going to cover the breaking news like we always do here. We put like Apple up here or something. Where's gold at today? Gold's still sitting right where it was on Friday. 40.74, give or take. Let me get a different window up. Hold on one second. Yeah, so the Fed's Waller is recently speaking. He said, since last Fed meeting, available data suggests not much change. Inflation is not a big problem with the labor market weak, on a Fox Business interview. And so again, the Fed Waller said that since last meeting, available data suggests not much has changed. Inflation is not a big problem with the labor market weak. And so let me know if you guys agree with that. Gold is starting to push up a little bit more here. So again, gold does look a little elevated. Do you guys agree with them? Is inflation elevated to you? Let me know. Yeah, let me fix this. I could fix the stream a little bit, make it a little bit cleaner here, probably like this. Gold popping up. Nvidia under 180s. And I think 180s is kind of a big psychological level for Nvidia too. But yeah, the only thing we have today is industrial production. They did cancel GDP data. I see a lot of people posting like, ooh, we got GDP and PCE data. I'm sorry, guys, we don't. You can check the Bureau of Economic Analysis website. We just don't have it, unfortunately. This week, they delayed it. They didn't give us a new date. Is what happened. So. Check like spam maybe. There we go. We got this up. All right. So we got our top step up here as well. We're going to be trading live today like we always do. I'll try to squeeze this in here somehow. I don't know which account this is, but I try to put like 3 windows up here at the bottom. That should be good enough. All right, guys, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you think we should cut rates? I should also do a poll here. I'm also going to do a poll. Do you guys think we should cut rates in December? I heard a lot of mixed responses when Waller essentially said that he thinks we should cut rates. Basically, that why is it this high? That's weird. It's like cut off. But yeah, Waller basically said inflation's not a problem. And I mean, inflation rate, the last one we got 3% roughly for CPI inflation. We'll see what PPI inflation looks like. And whenever they schedule PCE inflation, we'll see what that one looks like as well. But I think what it ultimately means is that the Federal Reserve is going to be flying more blind than normal. Oh, wait, here, let me drag this away. I got too many windows up right here. There we go. Okay, that's cleaner. Why did it shorten this so much? Weird. No, this ain't gonna work. I guess it could work like this. All right, let me do a poll. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to answer the chat as well as I normally do today, just based off of all this stuff. All right. All right, I'm going to do a poll. Should we cut rates in December? I'm curious to see what people have to say about this. Again, so there's the poll. The poll is going live now. Should we cut rates in December? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. Hopefully we don't get a bad draw this week. Inflation is terrible on groceries, in my opinion. People say inflation isn't a problem. We're living in another reality. Yeah. No, for sure. But food and energy prices are a little bit more volatile for sure. Yeah, so we do not have PCE inflation this week. It was originally scheduled for Wednesday. PCE inflation originally scheduled for Wednesday. Now they didn't give us a new one. They didn't tell us when the next one's coming out. And you can look at it if you go to the Bureau of Economic Analysis website. I'll show you guys. Here, hold on. Bro, this might be the heaviest coffee table I've ever seen. Right, but if you go look at the BEA, go look at the website. Right, here is the Bureau of Economic Analysis website. So here's the site, right? If we go to 2025 news release schedule, I don't know, it's not letting me click on it for some reason. Too many windows pop up here. Exit out of some of this. Exit. Keep that one. I don't know if it's too small. It's not letting me click it. Hold on, let me just go larger here and zoom out. Yeah, so look, read this. So economic release schedule updates, GDP and personal income and outlays. The following updates to BEA's post-shutdown economic release are currently available. Gross domestic third quarter and corporate profits will be rescheduled. These dates were originally scheduled for Wednesday. Personal income and outlays will be rescheduled. Data was originally scheduled for Wednesday. So I think personal income and outlays includes PCE inflation. Here's the schedule, right? And so they are not putting any of that stuff out. It was originally Wednesday, gross domestic third quarter and, inflation data, but they have now rescheduled that, unfortunately. So no more release Wednesday. We still got jobless claims, durable goods Wednesday, but it's not the same, of course. How about 25 basis point? Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to end quantitative tightening starting December 1st. We'll see if we get any reaction to that since it's already baked in. On the NASDAQ, I'm looking at this 24,500 level. Japanese will likely raise interest rates. Yeah, that makes sense. Hawkish Bank of Japan is what's scaring markets a little bit over the last few weeks too. I voted no cut. Let me see what the poll numbers show. 78% think we should cut rates in December, and I kind of agree with them. I get it. And the truth is somewhere in the middle in terms of like what people are, unhappy with, whether it's too much like high prices or jobs and trouble finding jobs, and the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. But we've seen a lot of inflation over the last 5 years, but I think at a certain point the labor market weakness is a scary thing, and again, like what happens is that if we don't ease, and 25 basis point cut is not going to do as much as a lot of people think it's going to do, and so I'll preface what I'm about to say with that understanding. But if we don't ease enough to stimulate the jobs market, then when we start trending more towards a recession, and a lot of people would argue we're already there, then the Fed has to kind of super ease, right? And what that causes was like a lot of money printing, stuff like that, and that can spike interest rates dramatically. So it's a tough situation to figure out what to do, but I think after a certain point of weakness in the labor market, the priority does become labor. You gotta try to save labor. But my fear, they're going to print money like they did. A lot of people think they will. A lot of people think they're going to start. Companies are not going to go on a hiring spree. Well, I mean, they can expand and do more stuff and hire more people is the logic of it. We might be in the middle of a recession already. Don't know it. I think it's less likely. I don't think it's likely that we are. You know, I don't think, you know, to have a recession, we need 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, right? Yeah, I'm at a different studio, different house, different computer. We still got it up and running, though. Let me know if we seem to be pretty stable here. NASDAQ 24,300 expected. I will start on time tomorrow. Yeah, a lot of people think they're going to start easing. They're just going to hire more robots. Yeah, I mean, look at the NASDAQ pop here, guys. NASDAQ up to 24. Again, Treasury bills pushing up, yields down, dollar sees weakness. Again, Governor Waller did reiterate a case for a 25 basis point cut in December. Money markets are pricing in a 67% probability versus 63% prior. I was showing 74% on my end. And again, Waller did speak on Fox, I think is where he spoke or something like that. Yeah. And again, you can kind of see they did reschedule the GDP data that we were supposed to get on Wednesday. They did reschedule it. You know, it is now expected. Or we don't know when it's expected now. So they did reschedule that. So we are not getting GDP anymore on Wednesday, unfortunately. NASDAQ just popped over. I think 24,500 is probably a pretty relevant psychological level. Here, let me try to fix this a little bit better here, guys. Hold on. That should be better. Where should I put my camera? I should probably put my camera back over here. There we go. Is that cleaner or worse? You know, I could stretch this out a little bit more. Make this a little bit larger. There we go. And then do the same to this. Make it fixed a little bit. I really need some coffee, guys. I'm running no coffee. Can y'all see the price on these on the right? Yeah, y'all can. All right. There we go. Yeah, look at gold. Gold went up to 4080s. NASDAQ's still pushing here. Let me make sure we don't have any like breaking news. Now that we're clean enough here. Yeah, markets are closed on Thursday. So most of the data, like jobless claims comes out Wednesday. Durable goods comes out Wednesday. Where am I? I'm not home. I'm not going to be too specific about where I am, but I'm not home. All right, guys. I'm going to go make myself a cup of coffee. Y'all might be able to see me in the background. So, yeah, you might be able to see me in the background. But I'm going to make myself a cup. Tariffs coming off. Companies have high cost inventory. Friday, I think, is like a half day. We'll still stream, but I think Friday is like a half day, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, Friday is like a half day in markets. Here, I'll be right back. Ugh. All right, we're back. I'm gonna let my coffee brew, and then we're good. Yeah, unemployment did uptick last week. Unemployment uptick to 4.4%. The labor report showed jobs show like what 118,000 or something crazy. So the labor market showed strong jobs. You know. Hey, what's up, chat? Good morning. Are other countries laying off because AI, like United States? I think AI is definitely going to replace some jobs, and I think this is just obvious. You know, AI is just going to replace jobs. Now, whether it's going to create new jobs to compensate for it, I think is the real question. And I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe it does. You know, and I'm sure it's going to create some jobs. The real question is it going to compensate for, you know, the jobs that it takes, or are we going to be, you know, are we going to be net down from jobs? Essentially, is the question. What do you guys think? Is it going to replace them enough? I don't know. But again, dollar down. Governor Waller still pushing for a 25 basis point cut. I have to use my phone a little bit more today. SOFR rate just showed up at 3.93%. Rollins is talking about aid after Thanksgiving. Again, Governor Waller said he is advocating for interest rate cut at this December meeting. And honestly, I think Fed members are kind of split. Agriculture Secretary Rollins said China started buying U.S. soybeans almost immediately. The news is a little light today. Again, gold up to 4,080 basically. Waller said press conferences are important to continue for the sake of clarity and transparency, though could be changes in how they are organized. He said, I think the administration is looking for somebody with experience who knows how to do the job. Oh, he wants that Fed chairman job. He said, still do not think the labor market will turn around in the next few weeks. September jobs numbers likely to be revised down. The fact that it was concentrated is not a good sign. No anecdotal evidence that firms are hiring. He said tariff inflation impact is not that big and will be a one-off. I talked to Besson about 10 days ago. He had another great meeting talking about economics and markets. Yeah. So he wants a 25 basis point cut. I was thinking about buying this 24,500 level, and I might. But, almost 80% of people think we should cut. Weren't Fed members supposed to split during the October cut, and yet they still cut? Yeah, let me put Bitcoin up. Yeah, Bitcoin down to 86 still. Yeah, so JP Morgan, MicroStrategy, they say, is facing pressure due to concerns that index provider MSCI might exclude it from major equity indices because its heavy Bitcoin holdings blur the line between an operating company and a Bitcoin fund. Some of the JP Morgan Chase analysts have released several bearish reports, specifically on MicroStrategy, highlighting risks. They say due to recent underperformance, essentially, which has caused a lot of fear and led to big volatility in MicroStrategy and Bitcoin. After there was a October MSCI announcement about forced sales by index funds, a lot of stuff pushed Bitcoin down. Michael Saylor has defended the company's business model, emphasizing it remains an operating business, building new products, and not simply a Bitcoin holding vehicle. There's some rumors on social media about short activity and potential delivery issues. But JP Morgan's pushing financial security. They're definitely getting some heat from the crypto community. I read about this weekend. And I saw Michael Saylor post about it a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure most people here are going to side with Saylor. Where's JP Morgan stock right now? It's not really moving much. JP Morgan stock's pretty strong. But why does it do that? Like a toss. Toss is weird. There's an hourly chart for JP Morgan. I mean, it's down over the last week. I love how the YouTubers swearing 150k Bitcoin with zero utility makes absolutely no sense. Saylor will be homeless? No, I'm going to keep the scroller the same size just to have something on the screen. No, sorry, a D. Sorry, bro. In other words, a classic hit piece. Maybe. I voted no cut because 25 points is nothing. Crypto bullish. Bitcoin might be bottoming out. Yeah, I've heard a lot of different levels for Bitcoin, like where the bottom is for crypto and Bitcoin. I heard 90. I thought 90 maybe, but we just kind of blew through 90. A lot of people said like 88, which is kind of where we are now. We're at 86 right now. Yeah, if you look at Google here, Google's flying up. We're at 310s right now for Google. So big moves on Google. Still pushing up here. It'll create some new jobs, but it'll be relatively few and highly specialized. Yeah. Yeah, I see the aid thing about Rollins. CEOs can't wait to replace humans with AI and automation. Our bottleneck is how fast NVIDIA can make more Blackwells. Bears are winning. Yeah, I'm drinking community coffee right now. Being a Louisiana, look at the NASDAQ push here. Make sure we don't have any other posts coming out or something. So let's see, why is Bitcoin under pressure? Deutsche Bank explains Bitcoin just had its worst week since February, down over 30% from last month's peak. Deutsche analysts point to 5 main reasons. One of them is a risk-off mood in markets. Bitcoin is moving like a high-growth tech stock, strongly correlated with the NASDAQ rather than an independent store of value. Jerome Powell warned a December rate cut isn't guaranteed, although Williams later softened that tone last week. Progress on Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, and the Senate has slowed institutional outflows. Investors are pulling money out. Long-term holders taking profits. And again, Bitcoin about 86,000 today. Fed's Waller did push for rate cuts, and I think rate cuts are better for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin wants easing, so I think Bitcoin wants a lower interest rate environment. They want easing, and anything that makes signals like high interest rates or less likelihood of cuts is going to be more bearish for Bitcoin. NASDAQ's still pushing though right now. You've never heard of Community Coffee? No, it's a Louisiana brand. Google up to 311. Isn't this all-time highs for Google right now? Google's up there. Not quite all-time highs, but 312 might be. Yeah, 312 is the all-time high level, which we're getting pretty close. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's actually much easier. Never thought I'd be averaging down on Bitcoin at 87 again. Nasdaq wants 25,000 this week. Maybe if I would say PPI inflation data is going to matter a lot. You know, it just depends on what PPI inflation data looks like, to be honest. So it really just depends on what, inflation data looks like. Nasdaq's moving here though. Look at this 24,550 level. We just tapped it. You can see it on the chart. We just tapped that level exactly at it. I'll put the SPY up on the top right just so you guys can see it. Let me go grab my coffee here. It should be good. Hold on. Yeah. Oh. PPI inflation is coming tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, we do not have, just for anybody that just joined the stream, we do not have GDP data on Wednesday anymore. We do not have PCE inflation data on Wednesday anymore. So again, PPI inflation comes out tomorrow. No more GDP Wednesday, no more PCE inflation on Wednesday. All right, so look, we tapped 550. Google's around all-time highs again. We got PPI inflation data, jobless claims, durable goods, and more in the next few days. So we do have some stuff. We just don't have GDP and PCE anymore. I don't know when they're going to reschedule that. Yeah, I thought they would skip October CPI inflation. You know, so I did think they would skip October CPI inflation, but they're skipping October labor, which is kind of surprised. They're skipping a bunch of stuff, and they've delayed a bunch of stuff too. You know, and this is after like last week was busy. We had the Fed minutes, we had Nvidia earnings, we had a whole bunch of different things last week. This week they've changed it. You know. I see 4 borrowers are looking to sell new U.S. investment grade bonds Monday, according to Bloomberg. Continental plans to buy up an additional 1,500 jobs of its Contitech division, according to Reuters. And I'm still checking breaking news, but again, the headlines are a little bit slow. It's a slow holiday week. I think a lot of people are traveling. We have UK Chancellor Reeve says growth means backing priorities unapologetically. Tesla shares are up today. If you look at Tesla here. Tesla up to 400. It's been a pretty volatile time for Tesla. Look at these moves up and down. Just down to 380s, up to 430, back down to 380s. That's a huge range. That's a big range. It's not small. We do have retail sales tomorrow as well. So tomorrow, honestly, tomorrow is probably the busiest day this week now, realistically, right? So tomorrow we have, just to put this into perspective, I think it's tomorrow. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure tomorrow we have PPI, retail sales, ADP non-farm employment data, and so 3 different reports, 2 of them at different times is what I think we have tomorrow. But let me make sure. I'm pretty sure tomorrow we have ADP non-farm employment at 8:15, PPI inflation at 8:30, retail sales at 8:30 as well. Yeah, we do. Okay, yeah, so tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow we have the ADP jobs report, which I do think the Fed is going to be looking at. I think the Fed's going to be watching private payroll data since we're getting some of the other ones delayed. What happened to the Dow? Where's the Dow at? Here's the Dow. I mean, Dow's up over the last few minutes here. Let me zoom out a little bit more. I don't know what happened to the Dow early this morning. Let me see if I can figure it out. Investor concerns about AI is what they're saying, but I don't think the NASDAQ dropped like this morning, huh? I'm sure the chat knows. Okay, everything dropped, so it wasn't just the Dow, it was the NASDAQ and everything. We kind of rebounded all the way back up, though. Again, tech stock overvaluations continue to spark fears. Nvidia is corrected. A lot of stuff's pulling back, and we're kind of in the wake of it. Bitcoin, obviously, is one of the big ones. If you take a look at the VIX this morning, VIX is at 22, so it's down a little bit after surging back up the last few days, but it's up and down from like 24s to 22s. Hey John, do you think early next year there may be a quick sell-off in U.S. that can lead to crash or big down? I mean, yeah, I think it's obviously possible. I think we're kind of seeing something like that now. We're in the middle of a big correction as we speak, you know? So, like, we're correcting big now. You know what I mean? So, we can definitely keep correcting. It's not like we're not going to keep correcting. We certainly could. Try to log into this one, but yeah, we can definitely keep correcting. It doesn't mean we're not going to, you know. Do you guys think we correct this year still? Do you think, I guess the point is, do you guys think we continue down? You know? Yeah, PPI's tomorrow. PPI's tomorrow. Retail sales delayed reports tomorrow. ADP labor report is tomorrow. So yeah, we will still get those. Tomorrow's the busiest day this week now. It pivots from Wednesday was, I would say Wednesday was probably a larger day prior to them canceling GDP and PPI inflation, but now tomorrow is. So Tuesday, tomorrow is going to be the biggest day for sure. I'd rather get a correction over with now since we already have come down around 5% off highs. Yeah. I mean, we're already down, you know, NVIDIA percentage-wise is down what now? Currently where it's at now, it's probably down like 13% or something like that. Maybe more. 180 from what? 212s? On a percentage basis. Yeah, 212 down to 180. We're sitting now. NVIDIA's down 15%. So all right, guys. So we're honestly heading back up, though. We have, I think maybe Waller speaking about rates, but I almost want to buy this dip. It's a little risky, though. But yeah, as of now, the schedule that we have for economic data is that we have retail sales tomorrow. It's expected at 0.3%. PPI inflation data. I don't really see an expectation for core. I see regular PPI expected at 0.3% month over month tomorrow. But this is from September data, so this is delayed data. It's not recent data. Last time year over year came in at 2.6. PPI year over year core came in at 2.8. I think we have the updated capacity utilization rates today at 9:15, I believe. I'll have to look, but just to be fair, I don't really think that's gonna move anything, but. Yeah, in Japan, we have a holiday as well. It's Labor Day in Japan. The yen carry dynamic scaring a lot of people. No, this is tomorrow. Tuesday. December 18th, the Bank of Japan hike causes the yen carry trade. We're not out of the woods. A lot of people are nervous about that, and we've seen some volatility from that too. The question is, do I buy this 24.25 level right here? Try to attack the trend, continue the trend here. I could buy 24.5s if we pull back that long. I don't know. Yeah, I can see you, GG. What's up, dude? Seems like we're in a corrective wave A. Still need a bounce to B, then a hard flush. Yeah, and like I said, before this correction, I told people I think like a 10% pullback is healthy. Like a 10% correction and then stabilization is healthy. I would rather us pull back 10% than crash 30, 40. They didn't give us an update. I see Nick asking, when is GDP now? They did not give us an update to it. So they did not update us on GDP. Turkey stock bullishness. List your favorite turkey stocks. What would it be? Go with Tyson? I don't buy turkeys from Tyson, but I hope not. I like Gemini a lot. AI. I do like Gemini. Nasdaq already had 10% correction. I really need someone to explain to me what happened to the 3-year yield. Google announced this multi-year, multi-billion-dollar cloud deal with NATO. Yeah. Yeah, they just delayed it. Again, I pulled the site up earlier. They delayed it. They did not give us an update. Like, here's the Bureau of Economic Analysis site. You know, again, to be rescheduled. They didn't tell us when. Original was Wednesday. They didn't say when. Same thing with PCE. December 19th, we were supposed to get the third estimate. So I'm wondering if they're just going to skip the second estimate, dude. You know, like I'm wondering if they're just not going to cover the second one. This is what they did with CPI. They're skipping the whole month for CPI. Or no, not CPI. They're skipping the labor report for October completely. They're just not doing it. They also skipped, what was the other one they're skipping? They're also skipping JOLTS. So they're skipping JOLTS and the labor report for October. We're still getting November's, but we're getting November after the next Fed meeting. The next Fed meeting is on December 10th. And they're scheduling it, I think it's on the 14th or the 16th, or whatever it is, it's after the next Fed meeting. Yeah, I needed this coffee. Yeah. Is the stream running clean, guys? We should be pretty clean here. But yeah, no more PCE inflation. No more GDP data this week. I should have bought the 25 level. I was really looking at it right here. Like, here's 25s. Again, Bitcoin. Way down here. 86,000s right now. Should have bought it. Look at the NASDAQ pushing all the way back up, testing 550s here. If I check the breaking news. Again, Bitcoin at 86,000. Bitcoin on Friday fell to 80,500. So. Again, the news is a little quiet today. I bought the over-emotional dip in NVO. Yeah. I should have bought the dip in the NASDAQ. It was at 24,524s. Here, let me make sure we're not in... yeah. I'm in top chat. I gotta go to live chat. I'm working on my travel computer here this time, though, guys. Are we running good, though? So, stream's running well. Music's good. No lag. We should be okay. Meta back over 600s. I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. I'm in it right now. You know. Yeah, Meta at 601s. You love to see it. I held mine, too. I'm still in it. Yeah, news is light. Perfect. Cool. Everything good? Nice. Yeah, I know I started late today. We'll be back up and running tomorrow. NASDAQ still pushing. I should have bought that dip at 525s. I really thought about it. Let's see 575s up there. Bitcoin will sell to 50K. Yeah. It's a busy holiday week, you know. We got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Market's closed. But we have PPI retail sales. ADP tomorrow. Wednesday we have jobless claims now and durable goods. So we got stuff. We definitely have stuff coming out the next 2 days before Thanksgiving. I don't know when they're going to reschedule PCE inflation. I'm hoping they don't cancel that too, because really, again, the Fed's not getting that much information right now before the December meeting. So I mean, no, I got some cash, AD. I usually save a little bit just in case stuff hits the fan, so I can just kind of keep, you know what I mean? So I can average in. I don't know if it'd be dollar cost averaging, because usually it's a little bit more intentional where I add to it versus DCAing, which DCAing just means like you're buying periodically regardless of price, right? Where I add to it a lot of the time, where I average into it, is more it has more price relevance. Like I'm looking at where the price is at, you know, and then I'm using that to determine how much I want to add or not, versus DCAing, which is supposed to be just periodic regardless of price buys, like 20 shares every week, 30 shares every week, whatever price is, doesn't matter. We're curbing volatility by continuing to add and add, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. And remember, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart, guys. I can't guarantee anything. Don't copy me. All that good stuff. Can't guarantee anything. There we go. I'm going to put this up as the top 3 greatest banner ever right here. You know what I miss, though? I miss my freaking mouse, dude. So much that I might have to go get a mouse. Honestly, I think my daughter's computer is easier for streaming, though. My son's computer, it's a little bit stronger of a computer. It's got like an AMD Ryzen chip in it and like all kind of stuff. Just a better, like it's more powerful for gaming. But my daughter's has a larger screen, and it seems to handle the stream a little bit better. I think they both have the same amount of memory. Alright. I'm not going to put a scroller up here, but I do got to put this up. There we go. Yeah, and I'm checking the background. Nasdaq still trying to hold now at 550s up there. I don't know. Put that up there now too. There we go. All right, let me catch you back up the chat. I'm catching back up. Catch you back up. Fed Waller supports December cut. Yeah, Fed Waller spoke earlier. He basically said that he's not worried about inflation. I think a lot of people probably disagree with that, but Waller did say he's not as worried about inflation. No enthusiasm for buying. I think people are scared. You know, even the fear and greed index, it was mostly at fear with a lot of stuff. So I think people are scared right now. I think we're in the middle of a correction. A lot of stuff is corrected. A lot of big tech stocks have corrected. Michael Burry's out here shorting Palantir and Nvidia. And I think a lot of people are scared. You know, I think a lot of people are nervous about buying. I think a lot of people are worried they're going to get in and then we're going to crash bigger and they're going to, you know, lose a bunch of money. And so I think people are just nervous right now. But one of the things that could kickstart bullish action is just moves up. Gold just popped. Yeah, I see Bitcoin is up to 86.5 right now in Bitcoin futures at least. Gold's up a little bit over the last few minutes and it's been up today, but it's still sitting around 4,080. Now, Bitcoin hasn't always followed the market. Like I've seen Bitcoin, I've seen times where it follows the market. I've seen times where it goes against the market. It depends on what's going on. Like earlier, I think it was last year, we had the regional bank crisis, right? And we saw a lot of regional banks, specifically, what was the name of it? It was big news when it happened. It was, what was the name of the bank? California Bank. I can't remember it. But it was a California bank. Somebody will mention in the chat pretty soon. Silicon Valley Bank is what it was, yeah. And so we saw a lot of regional bank failures. Early last year, it was like March or April last year, if I remember correctly. You know, and so the market started going down a little bit from it. Like people are scared about banking and all this different stuff. And so what we saw was we saw a rotation into Bitcoin, into crypto, because people were worried about conventional finance, right? And so that was a situation where Bitcoin and crypto were going up, but markets were going down. And so Bitcoin doesn't always follow macro markets, although it has definitely recently been following macro markets. Like markets have been tumbling down, Bitcoin has been tumbling down, tech stocks have been correcting some. Yeah, SVB. So, John, tell me something, how to exit a loss-making trade. Yeah, just don't add to it if you're losing, just to try to win back your money. That's probably the worst habit you can do in trading. That's how people end up destroying accounts. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not an investment professional, but I know from my experience, and I'm sure a lot of people here can kind of, you know, tell you a very similar story in that context. It's just that people lose money because people lose accounts because they're down on a position, and instead of just accepting the loss, they try to win it back. They double their size, and then before you know it, they're down more, and then they triple their size, and then they're taking a huge risk, and then their account's gone. I've had it happen to me. I'm sure a lot of people here have had it happen to them. That's just kind of how it goes. Yeah, First Republic. The one I was thinking of was Silicon Valley, but there's a few of them. Bed Bath & Beyond. Yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond failed. But again, you got to think about the dynamic of it. When Bed Bath & Beyond failed, and I think it's back actually, but when it failed, you got to think of the dynamic of like, look, it failed because most of the things that people buy at Bed Bath & Beyond, you can buy on Amazon and get it shipped to your doorstep. You know, like Carol loved Bed Bath & Beyond. We used to go there all the time. before it closed down. There was never anybody in there, and the stuff that you bought was sold at a premium. And so you can either pay less on Amazon and get it shipped to your door, or you can go out and shop in the store and pay more for it, right? And so that dynamic is just, it's going to be hard for that type of business to succeed. Look at the NASDAQ come back down here. Let's see if there's a reason for this. Again, Google surging this morning, so deal with NATO. Pawn posted about it earlier. Again, Alphabet, Google's up like 4+% in pre-market today. Those in denial trades, bro, everybody knows. Everybody's been there, you know. I would love to pretend like I haven't been in that situation where I'm adding to losses. Top 3 adder to losses in the world right now. Don't copy me, you know. But I've definitely been there, you know. Circular financing, the fears, yeah. We're getting a lot of scary, you know, a lot of people are worried about that type of stuff, so. Friday in my 50K funded account, yeah. That's how it goes. Bro, what is Canva talking about, dude? Okay. Canva, login. Oh, sorry guys, bumping my mic here. If that was loud, my apologies. All right, NASDAQ trying to make another pop here. Let's see. There's my disclaimer. All right, so we're pulling back. I kind of want to buy 525, and I think I might actually try to. So, we'll see. If we get down to 525, I might buy it. We'll see. Look at this disclaimer, man. Still the best disclaimer on the internet right here. Remember, guys, understand all the stuff on screen. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. What's your take on MicroStrategy, JP Morgan? Well, I mean, I can't really blame a bank for being risk averse. Yeah, I can't really blame a bank for being risk averse, but I don't know if now's the time for it, but I also get it, I guess. I'm kind of neutral on it. I'm a bull in Bitcoin, though. Like, I want Bitcoin to go up. So, and again, looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's sitting at 86,500 right now. It's back up from the 80,000 level or worse. So, it's not the worst. Look, I'm going to start adding to this position. I essentially am thinking that we're going to go sideways here. So, I'll add up to 3 contracts to this. On the way down to 525s. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna need to add a little bit more. Looks kind of small. You're not my CPA, bro. There's rumors JP Morgan is shorting MicroStrategy and we could see a GameStop squeeze. Maybe. I don't know. What's MicroStrategy's float? GameStop squeezed because the float was small. You know? And I get people are like talking about all this stuff. I'll add to this now. So like GameStop squeezed because it had like, you know, 20 million in the float or something like that. There we go. I'm going to take half off here. We are getting a pop-up. There we go. I'll just cut it right there. All right, so quick little good trade. Small trade early. Okay. AI doesn't understand. Ask AI what... Said MicroStrategy. Okay. Who knew it would be this hard to figure out what MicroStrategy's... Okay. Float would be... Let me see if the chat's got it. Chat, you got... What's MicroStrategy's float? See, I got out just in time on that trade too, like just in time. Yeah, I got out just in time. We'll see if it goes back up now. Okay, so for most people here, I see it's around 300 million. Now, just remember, like that's about 10 times the size of GameStop's float. I'm not trying to discourage like a squeeze thesis in MicroStrategy. I'm not. But when GameStop squeezed, part of the reason it did squeeze, it was aggressively shorted. Super high short float. But the float was also like 20 to 30 million, right? Now, that makes it a lot more volatile, a lot easier to go big percentages up and down and move more during the squeeze, right? Is because the float was so small. There's less shares out there. Less shares means more influence. Every purchase is more influential, which means more volatility, right? Does that make sense? Now with MicroStrategy has almost 300 million shares, right? So it's literally 10 times what GameStop was. I don't like the GameStop comparison. Now maybe it can squeeze. That's possible. You know, we'll see. Meta's holding, which is good. Spy's holding. Again, the real story of today, I think, is Google. Google helping the market right now. John, how are all these markets operate? I mean, big money work behind the big sell-off and big pump. I know they definitely manipulate things. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, big money manipulates things 100%, right? And again, I've said this before. And we can get mad at big money for doing it. But isn't that the whole point of having big money, is to influence things, right? Like, I think if I had big money like that, I might influence things too, because that's what benefits me. And I think that's pretty standard human nature. And so... Does big money influence things? Yes, they do. You know, I I would say, like, even if you look at Michael Burry, right? Just Michael Burry telling people he's aggressively shorting AI makes AI stocks go down, right? He's influencing things. And so big money on both sides, on all the different sides, influences things 100%. MicroStrategy floats 267. 267 is not that big, though. It's not the craziest looking float ever. You know, it's not like AMC over there with what? Big money crushed the market with fake news and volume. Yeah, you got to watch what big money does, not what they say, right? Like, again, during the big AI bull run, I tried to tell people I was trying to buy. I told people I was bullish in AI and all this different stuff. And big money started saying we were going to enter a recession, and banks started saying we're going to enter a recession, and everybody said, oh no. And people were like, oh, the market's going to crash. The market's going to crash, right? If we look at when this happened, I'll show you. I've showed people this a lot, but it's important to understand. You have to watch what some of these entities do, not really what they say, you know? So to take a look at this here, here's a yearly chart. Back here, or no, that's this year. I got to do a weekly chart. I probably got to go a little bit further. Hold on. 3 years. We'll do a max available. Just look at the longest time frame we can for it. Okay. So we've had a lot of volatility here, right? But during the pullback of 2021, like right here, a lot of people were telling me to sell. A lot of people were telling me the market was going to crash. Banks were putting out these super bearish like thesis down here under $400 on the SPY or Q or whatever. And they are just super overly bearish, right? Everybody's telling me the market's going to crash. It's the end of the world, you know, all this different stuff. I wasn't really bearish right here. I thought it was actually a good time to buy because I thought AI was going to influence things. And this is early in AI in 2021, 2022. But a lot of people argued with me about it. And the banks were scared people. The banks were saying, oh, you know, all these bad things are going to happen, you know, all this different stuff. In hindsight, we had one of the biggest bull runs afterwards. You know, we had a huge bull run afterwards. You know, SPY is sitting almost 100% higher than where it was back then in 2022 at this point in time. So, you know, and again, who do you think scared everybody from entering those markets? The banks and big money did. So again, you got to watch what they do, not necessarily what they say, because they might try to scare people. It's how it goes, you know. Yeah, and I'm curious to see what we get at the opening bell today because the market's been volatile. Yeah, I mean, JP Morgan just trying to risk management. They're, you know, I think with Bitcoin dropping as much, I don't think it's abnormal for a bank to come out saying, hey, these are risky. We got to be careful. You know, when something drops as much as it did, you know, yeah, it's Bitcoin versus FIC, 100%. Regulation. Canadian factory orders fell 1.1%. And again, Goldman Sachs, speaking of big banks, Goldman Sachs sees downside risk for the economy next year. Goldman Sachs economists expect the Fed to cut rates, followed by a few more cuts in 2026, bringing rates just above 3%. Chief economist warns the economy could slow more than expected, requiring additional cuts. Despite September's 119,000 new jobs, rising layoffs suggest labor market weakness may become entrenched, lifting the impact of modest growth, according to Goldman Sachs. Again, Alphabet stock is running right now in pre-market. It's kind of helping my other positions, but look at Alphabet right here. Yeah. We are dipping back down here. I got into one trade, very quick trade. Anything can happen in financial markets. Yeah, for sure. 100%. No, I'm not home right now. I started the stream late too. It's alright. Tomorrow will be on time. Alright, Nasdaq's dipping down. I might buy 24 500s here if we get down there though. So I might buy 24 5s. We'll see. I'm looking to. Anything can happen in finance. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking to see if we hit 24 500s here. That's what I'd like. Still watching news. See if we get something. And AMC CEO just post. He said 4.5 million guests have visited AMC theaters this past week from Monday through Sunday. More than 3.3 million in the U.S. and more than 1.2 internationally. 2/3 were to view Wicked for good. Bunch of gaps. Could be a trap. Nasdaq, gold, and Bitcoin seem. Yeah, I mean, everything's up this morning mostly. Google's up big, you know, and Google's driving, and I think, but I think it's also just kind of exhaustion from the downside. PPI inflation tomorrow will be interesting. Again, we don't have anything today, but tomorrow will be fun. Well, Adam Aaron's always bullish. I haven't even looked at AMC stock in so long, man. Yeah, it's 220. And barcodes mostly now. Like, nobody's really interested anymore. It's been downtrending too. Movie theaters are in trouble. Like, I want to see one battle after another. I don't want to go to a movie theater, though, to see it. AMD at 200s right now. Man, AMD is falling, huh? I mean, I know microchips are down, but man, this thing's down big. What is this down? This thing was at 272 on a percentage basis. That's a big drop. So yeah, this thing is down from 272 all the way down to, where's it at now? It's not at 206. That's a very large percentage for AMD. That is 24%. So it's down a quarter for AMD. That's very large. Is it time to buy AMD here, chat? I mean, movie theaters are kind of innovating. Honestly, I was telling my daughter about it. Like, now they have the whole thing where they'll serve you at the movie theater. Like, they'll serve you your food. They have a waiter that'll bring you food and all this different stuff. And I get it. But to be honest, for me, it's easier just to go wait in line, get popcorn, get candy, get a drink, and then just go watch the movie. And not have somebody that keeps walking in front of me trying to ask me questions and stuff while I'm watching the movie. You know what I mean? Are we going to dump from the Japan carry trade? Maybe. I think we already have to a certain extent, but maybe. A lot of people are worried about it. But hey John, have you heard about Takashi Kotogawa? No, not really. Look, I try to. It's nothing against. There's a lot of marketing for day traders, right? And some day traders are legitimately that good. I don't know anything about them, and some aren't. You know what I mean? Some are just telling stories. And so I just try to stay away from the whole day trading marketing aspect of it. I just think there's a lot of stories. A lot of people trying to create content, and then a lot of people trying to grow a following that just kind of go on social media and just start saying stuff, you know? It gets a little bit too guru-y for me personally. And again, not even talking about that specific person, but it just gets a little bit too guru entrenched for my tastes, to be honest. Like, I'm just not really, I'm not really going to go deep in that, you know? I'm just going to kind of, I might be a little grumpy. I'm not really grumpy. I might be tired. I started the stream like 30 minutes late today. I'm sorry. All right, later, Coy. See you, bro. I like the repertoire and data here compared to most channels that are like, I know everything will happen. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the brand of this channel, though, is that I'm just not an expert. I'm not going to pretend to be the greatest day trader ever just to sell you guys something. I'm just going to try to be honest with you. You know? Yeah, what's up, Trader Pro? We try. Some people want that guru nature, though. Maybe they want to get inspired or whatever, but I get it, you know. All right, so here's 24 fives. I'm gonna buy this down here, and we're gonna add 2 into it, and then just give it a second, see if we bounce at this 24.5 level. 200 exponentials right there as well. Might add a little bit more. We got an initial bounce. I think it's just psychological right here. Big whole dollar number. We got a cushion on the day already, so we could probably swing for it here. There we go. We got 4 contracts now. Maybe we've gotten a little bit too large of size too early, but we're about flat. See if we go green. Looks like we want to bounce, but it keeps correcting back down. I should probably be watching like Google here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to limit some of my size right here and just wait maybe on the rest, see if it goes in my favor. Where's NVIDIA? NVIDIA's coming back down. NVIDIA's now under 180s too. I'm an expert at losing money. Short till the VWAP. Yeah, we got the 200 EMA like right there. Alright, now we're back to kind of flat. I don't know if I want to add back to it though. I think I just want to sit here. 200 EMA could bounce it right here too, so. Yeah, NVIDIA's pulling back, but Google's been pushing up, so we're kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, there's the 200 EMA. I just want to see if that bounces us back up here. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. It's small. I can add to it if I go green. It's trying to get back over that 24.5 level, so. Should have maybe waited for that VWAP or that 200 exponential below us. Bitcoin. Yeah, I see Bitcoin back down to 86K. You just got to be careful. The last few days we've seen volatility at the open. Either on the good side or bad side. Like the last few days of the opening bell, markets have been pushing, you know, so you just want to be careful with what's going on. We could see big volatility. It's a little bit slower of a day today in terms of news. Like, we haven't had a bunch of big breaking news today. We got industrial production numbers coming out. There we go. We're back to green. Okay, good. Yeah, see if we can hold over 24.5s now. I'm trying to be patient. Like, I'm trying to sit tight here and wait. John, the last time we said 8 out of 100 fear greed index, we rallied a lot. Do you think we could have a similar scenario? Yeah, I mean, we could. All right, I'm going to add to this now, probably. Might wait for a dip, too. But might take a couple more hundred positions. Or not a couple more hundred. All right, there we go. We're a little bit better up here. Still popping up. That's good. All right, I'm going to take a little bit more off up there. See if we can get back up there. I'll try to hold this close to break even now. Yeah, just cut it right there. We got the bounce right around 24.5. It wasn't exactly there, but that's all right. Buying MU. Look at Bitcoin fall down. So Bitcoin now right around under 86,000. All right, so we're pulling back down 524. Yeah, again, 24.5, big psychological level. What I really think it is, let me see if I have the epic pin on here. I don't have my cool little pin feature. I'll have to download it later. But, you know, one of the ways I trade a lot of the time is by looking at, and so we've had 2 green trades so far today, is I look for psychological levels, whole dollar numbers, as well as, and I'm on Top Step right now. If you want to check out Top Step, it's a great way to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, Gold. Just a great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose money. Most day traders lose, and so limiting your risk with something like this is a funded account there. Makes sense. It's $50 to get started. If you pass the test, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split. If you fail, you lose $50. It's the best of both worlds. It's the best way to learn with some risk, just not exorbitant amounts of risk. And it's just a great way to learn. Most day traders lose, but it's cheaper here most of the time, and you're learning, and you're still risking something, so you're learning how to trade. And they pay out millions, fund thousands, and just a great way to learn. They got some big news coming out soon, too, I think. for them, and super reliable with payouts, 90% split once you're funded. Just a great way. I'll put the link up if you want to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. You want to confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. You know, of course, make your own assessment. I don't even claim to be a good trader, but yeah, there's the link if you want to check it out. But the way I trade here is I end up looking for whole dollar numbers, like big round numbers. Usually, like, human nature tends to gravitate to big round numbers, like 24,500. I like to use quarter numbers, and maybe I should have held this, but like, look, 525 right here. You can kind of see we reject a little bit. 24,500, and then I use isolation. So I look at the 200 exponential as well a lot. You know, there's a bunch of different steps that I look at. Yeah, you can kind of learn without the fear. 100%. Stream seems to be running good now. Can y'all can see everything, right? Oh, y'all can't see the end of the screen, can you? Oh yeah, you can. All right, good. Nasdaq's still ripping. Good. As long as the stream's running good. And again, guys, I'm going to say this again. I've been reporting this all day. Anybody, like, they canceled the GDP report this week. They canceled PCE inflation this week as well, unfortunately. So, no more GDP on Wednesday. No more PCE inflation on Wednesday either. I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy about that. And that's all right. But all right, guys. So we're consolidating around 525. Why did they cancel the numbers? Yeah, so U.S. exporters are selling 123,000 tons of soybeans. They canceled the numbers. They didn't really give an explanation. They posted this, I think it was like on the 20th, 3 or 4 days ago. I don't know why they canceled it. They didn't really give an explanation. They didn't give us a new date either, unfortunately. Novo Nordisk's Alzheimer's drug fails. Nasdaq's still flying higher here. Look at this. SPY rebounding. Nvidia's kind of slow. I think a lot of this is Alphabet this morning, just doing really, really well. Yeah, Alphabet breaking all-time highs. These are the all-time high numbers for Alphabet. Alphabet up to 313s, which if it opens up around here will be its, you know, all-time highs. So, and again, we are going to be day trading live, of course, like we always do. I'm not going to say it's good to trade anything. I really don't know, you know. Yeah, we're still getting PPI. We're still getting retail sales tomorrow. I think we're still getting consumer confidence, New York or NY. So I think we're still getting consumer confidence, but I know we're definitely still getting PPI inflation tomorrow. We're definitely getting retail sales tomorrow as well. And then Thursday, even with the canceled GDP data, we're still getting durable goods and jobless claims on Thursday. Look at the NASDAQ pump here. guys. So look at this move up. Yeah, so we're making some moves here. Yeah, Thursday's closed for the holiday. I don't see any news. I'm checking other sources, but nothing big breaking here. Saudi Arabia reporting plans 2 new alcohol stores as it further eases alcohol restrictions. USDA says exporters sold 123,000 metric tons of soybeans to China for this year and next year's delivery. NASDAQ's still edging higher here. And again, this is Google. This is the SPY. Also moving up. NVIDIA. Kind of flat still, but trying. Stream seems to be running pretty good though. Yeah, Thursday's closed. I don't know why it keeps resetting to top chat. Might be easier for me to just look this way. Look at this move on the NASDAQ here. And again, I don't see any breaking news really that's moving it. I just see the SPY, NVIDIA, Google pushing up. I think it's mostly Google related. You know, Google started running up after Warren Buffett announced that Burke is buying they're bought like a big stake in it. Google up to almost 314s today, 314s. Heavily weighted stock, Mag 7 stock, obviously influences all the other indexes. So Christmas rally starting, maybe. A lot of people thought we would push down and then rally, but NASDAQ's testing the recent highs. I think also maybe the high of the day here if we look out. Yeah, so NASDAQ's testing the high of the day now. If you zoom out a little bit, high of the day is right around 560 or so. Right around 562s, I would say. So we're testing that level now. We just tapped the high of the day. Very close to it. Are we going to get a Christmas rally? What did I do on the poll earlier? 77% say yes, we should cut rates. Let's end that poll. We'll do another one here. NASDAQ still just broke highs up to almost 575. Are you bullish or bearish for today's open in 20 minutes? Again, are you bullish or bearish for today's opening bell? Let me know. There's the poll. It's now live. NASDAQ just broke highs of the day. Again, this is mostly thanks to Google, I think, this morning. NVIDIA's starting to bounce back up. It's almost back up to 180s, though. Yeah, a lot of people think, like, when Jerome Powell is replaced, that, you know, obviously the new Fed Reserve chairman is going to be a lot more dovish and push for more cuts. And so we're starting to see something like that now. Slightly, mildly, cautiously bullish. I sold half. Broke over 560. Yeah, 560. So we just tapped highs of the day now. Bitcoin over 86,000, but it has slowed some of the rises that it's been making, but it's still doing okay. Gold right now, 4,077. May next year, Raymond. They're gonna announce who he's gonna get replaced by though before the end of the year, I think they said, right? So they're gonna announce who is gonna be the next FOMC chairman. It's supposed to be before the end of this year. Now, I don't know if it will, but it's supposed to be. So we'll see who that is. I'm sure they're going to pick a dovish chairman. And again, May next year is when it happens. What's up, Tiny? All right, look at 575 reject. We're over highs. The question is, do we buy this dip? Seeing it, looking for a continuation at like 550 maybe. Let me see. I'm pretty sure. Alright, we're just gonna leave this up. I'm messing with my new computer here. Make sure we're running clean. Yeah. Can't really see this though. Let me bring this down. Let me bring this over a little bit more too. There we go. That's good. I was gonna buy 550, but I guess I'll just wait. We got a little bounce. Let's see if we continue back up there. Do you think gold and silver were correct? When? I'm gonna fix the gold. I can make it a little bit smaller, but there you go. I won't see Google to 180. Yeah, I'm just traveling right now for the holidays, guys. All right, now we're consolidating between these two levels. You can see how much the market can follow these levels that we have. In the next year, what? In the next year, so next May. So yeah, it's less than a year. It's like 6 months away. I think it's May, right? Powell steps down in May. Correct? I'm pretty sure he steps down in May. MicroStrategy is getting hammered, man. You know. Look at this. Look at this trend on the bottom chart here. Yeah, I think it's at the end of April. MicroStrategy's get absolutely destroyed here. You know, again, JP Morgan came out being a little bit more restrictive, a little bit more, they labeled them a little bit riskier class. Essentially said that they act like just a holding company. Michael Saylor came out basically saying that they weren't a holding company, that they did software and other stuff. All right, here's 550. So JP Morgan, MicroStrategy beefing a little bit. The U.S. government will take a position in MicroStrategy. Do you think so? I heard a rumor that JP Morgan's trying to liquidate them. Maybe. I don't think we can also knock a bank for trying to be risk averse either, though. So I think there's a chance they're not. They're just trying to avoid liability, you know? All right, we're dipping down. We're under 550s now. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's also down big. You know what I mean? So if Bitcoin rebounds, MicroStrategy should, obviously, as well, since they're holding so much. But yeah, looking at our poll, we asked people, are you bullish or bearish for the opening bell? 72% say bullish today. 28% say bears. NASDAQ still falling down a little bit. A lot of this is from Google specifically. Google's been on a tear, you know, up to 313s, 314s for Google. Nvidia's a little quiet today, but it is down under 180s, which a lot of people are going to see as less optimistic. Yeah, Mara. Is Novo a good call? I mean, it could be. It seems pretty cheap, right? It's had some big pullbacks. I don't know. I'm always hesitant to invest though in medical stocks, pharmaceutical companies. It's just I don't know the industry well. There's a lot of red tape, and it's just difficult to accurately predict correctly. There's some people that can do it like really, really well. I'm not a big I know I bought United Health, and Nova is a big company as well, and this is a large pullback. But there's just so much I don't know about stuff. And again, it's kind of like penny stocks. Like you'll hear a lot of different things like, oh, this one's going to do well. This one's going to do well. And sometimes they just don't. So, but it is down a lot. And it is a very large company that I would imagine could rebound, you know, obviously in a strong way. I really don't know for sure though. And it's definitely not risk-free. Not an investment professional. No, I haven't seen them yet, SPX. I've been moving and stuff. I want to watch them. We'll watch them eventually. Yeah, I think if you're gonna get in some of these, you gotta know what you're talking about. Top 3 least knowing what I'm talking about people in the world right now. In terms of pharmaceuticals. Oil. Back down under 60 at 58. It's been low for a while now, though. You get Bitcoin sitting right around 86,000. I think so, Pawn. All right, guys, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Yeah, last week we just had so much volatility from this. All right, guys, we got less than 10 minutes. %72 bullish. What do you think about HIMS? I'm in HIMS, I think, right now. I'm in Meta as well. I'm in some other stuff. Not telling you to buy it. I'm not an investment professional, but these are doing okay today. HIMS I'm green on, but the position is pretty small. I've already taken a lot of profit off of my HIMS position. What else am I in right now? Home Depot had a good day Friday, so that's good. Holding, that's nice. What else am I in right now? Disney. I think I bought Disney. Disney looking a little rough, though. Green Day, though. I don't know if I'm going to add more. They're all pretty small positions. We'll see what happens. I'm looking at this NVIDIA under 180s. I'm looking at this 525 level, but we're so close to the opening bell, I'll probably just wait. HIM solves a problem. The reason I bought HIM stock, and again, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. All right, make your own assessment. Can't guarantee anything. HIM solves a very distinct problem. And that problem is that people don't want to go to the pharmacy and buy some of these embarrassing things. Like I think they sell, like, I can't remember what it is. It's like Propecia, balding medications, all that stuff, right? Other stuff too. And people don't want to go pick that up at the pharmacy and have to look the pharmacist in the eye and be like, yeah, I'm buying this, And so what does HIMS do? Well, they ship it to your door, so you don't have to. And I think that solves a problem. They figured out a problem and they solved it. And I think that's a good idea. I mean, that's how you create successful businesses, is you figure out a problem that you need to solve and then you solve it. You figure out a problem that nobody else sees and then you solve that problem. And I think that's what HIMS does. Now, they're still new. It's definitely not risk-free. And, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Fed watch tool now for... Yeah, the Fed watch tool currently pricing in for a September cut. We did have Waller, I believe, earlier speak about why he thinks we should cut rates in December. But it's currently at 79%. Look at these rate cut odds right now. 79% odds for rate cuts. So, the day of the FOMC meeting, I believe, is December 10th. December 10th, Fernando. But yeah, almost 80% odds of a rate cut now, which is kind of pivoted, switched, obviously. This is back. Yeah, Google up. NATO deal will use Google Cloud to help improve its digital infrastructure, strengthen governance, and improve AI capabilities. Google's distributed cloud will support NATO's joint analysis. So that's why Google's up so much. Nasdaq's still coming back down, though. All right, so Commerce Secretary Lutnick said Trump is weighing advanced NVIDIA chip sales to China. And so again, the president's weighing advanced NVIDIA chip sales to China, Lutnick says. Seth Chofik says the European Union set priority on steel, including tackling overcapacity for EU. But yeah, the chip news might move things. We'll see what NVIDIA does here. Again, 70% of people say bullish today, 30% bearish. Let's have a big green day. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if us not getting the labor report is good or what. But again, we're not getting the labor report anymore. No, we got the labor report on Friday. We're not getting the October labor report now. We're also not getting GDP this week anymore, or PCE inflation. So we're supposed to have GDP Wednesday, PCE inflation at 10 Wednesday. Now we're not getting any of that stuff. We're still getting PPI tomorrow. We're still getting jobless claims Wednesday. We're still getting durable goods. And we're still getting the ADP job report tomorrow morning as well. So... yeah, we got a couple minutes into the opening bell. Let's see what we get. I don't know why they rescheduled it. They didn't really give a reason. They just said that they're rescheduling it, and they said date to be determined is all they said. So no PCE, no GDP. They didn't really give a reason. It's the Bureau of Economic Analysis is the government entity that publishes that data, right? So for PCE, GDP, it's the BEA. They didn't really give a reason. They just said it was originally scheduled for November 26th, which would have been Wednesday. Now they're not doing it. I don't know why. All right, here we go. Opening bell's pretty soon. Hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. All right, there's the bell. All right, market's up a little bit from it. Nvidia is actually dropping some since the opening bell. I want to see what Bitcoin does. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia is actually falling down a little bit. I think we should also watch like Google here as well, though, at the open. Down at 310, so Google pulling back a little bit here as well at the opening bell. Nvidia dipping down to it's at 178s, 179s. Bitcoin down. Google's starting to find some strength, though. Nvidia's still falling down. It's at 178s. NASDAQ up to 550s, though, so we're getting some strength. Look at the NASDAQ push. We're at 86.90 here for Bitcoin. Nvidia down to 178s. Dude, why is my time off on my stream, dude? Okay. Bro, that was weird. Okay, wait a minute. My computer still says it's 9:29 market time. That's very odd. Why? NASDAQ's up. Look at the NASDAQ. What the heck is going on, bro? Y'all better fix this time. I better get it right. Sorry here, guys. I'm trying to adjust this date and time. It says Central Time. NASDAQ's ripping, though. See, it's not Nvidia, it's Google. Google driving the NASDAQ higher here, and other tech stocks are up. Bitcoin's completely flat, really. Or no, that's an hourly chart. Bitcoin's up a little bit since the bell. That's good. Look at Bitcoin rise. Up to 86.2s. Nvidia's fallen down, but Google kind of saving the day. Look at the NASDAQ rip, 24,600s. Holding data hostage to keep the market down, maybe. All right, we're up to 24,627s. Look at this rip right now, guys. Whoa. Apple's flying. AMD up. Amazon up. Netflix green. Tech running. Meta kind of green. AMD up big. Google flying. Nvidia's trying to fight its way back too. Look at Nvidia. Look at this movement. Yeah, we're making moves here. It's still early to tell if we're going to continue this price. Sorry, I got the sun in my eye. It's still too early to tell. We're going to day trade this. We got to wait a couple more minutes to play out first. So we are going to day trade this. We just got to wait a little bit. Google, 314s, all-time highs. 314 all-time highs for Google. 25,000. That's a ways above us, though. Yeah, that's a ways above us. Again, the China says president and their president held a phone call this morning is what's driving this market. So again, China said that the president and their president held a phone call this morning. NASDAQ's up big on this. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. China's president Xi speaks with Trump by phone today. Also, U.S. Greer says must implement tariff agreement before moving on to other things. We must implement the tariff agreement before moving on. But again, U.S. and China presidents held a call according to Chinese state media. That's what's driving markets up. Optimistic U.S.-China relationship news is what this is. Yeah. That's why markets are popping this morning. U.S.-China trade news. right, still rising some here. But U.S.-China trade news making people more optimistic here. Look at everything pop. Google up to 315s right now, all-time highs. Bitcoin's even rising on this. 24,700s here. I'm looking at 750 above us. I mean, I'm okay with this. Look at Amazon. Again, even Bitcoin up on this news. Look at Nvidia here. Yeah, I don't see a pullback. I almost want to short it, but I'm not going to short it. We're too strong. We're kind of blowing through the levels just on this catalyst. Again, this is U.S.-China trade news. Both presidents held a call this morning. That's boosting optimism right now in markets, pushing things higher for sure. That's what's causing this. Google still flying up on this news release. I don't know if we're going to keep dragging it higher, but again, both presidents held a meeting on the phone. Again, China's Xi and U.S. President Trump held a phone call this morning, according to Chinese state media. Also, Commerce Secretary Lutnick says critical minerals and rare earths are topics that are easy to work on because everybody agrees. Could be the first reaction's a wrong one, but this is a big reaction here. Yeah, Bitcoin's right here. I'm going to short this. It's risky, but you know what? We're up a lot. There we go. I'm going to cut that right there. Small, but we're going to cut it. I'm going to switch accounts. We're already up. We've had like 4 green trades on this account today. I don't want to give that back. I'm going to switch accounts to this one. Different account now. Locked in the green on that one. I don't want to risk too much. Should have held that short too, because look at this pullback now. Should have held it. What a dip now. Small little pullback here, small. But yeah, Google's pulling back a little bit. I almost want to short this little pop up here. I'm going to short this right here. Kind of extended. There we go. We were really green for a second. This is a risky position too. Oh, let's test 700. All right, Google's dipping heavy. Look at that. There we go. I took half off. There we go. I'd like a little bit more than this. There we go. I'm gonna cut it right there. What did I make here? I made something. Yeah. Look at Google dip. Google back down to 313s. Nvidia's starting to fall too. I didn't hear you click. Yeah, I'm on a laptop right now. It's silent. Yeah, I'm not home right now, guys. I'm just not home. Started the stream late. Had to get everything set up. Took me a little while. I'm on a different laptop, so I had to kind of fix this one up. Might buy this now. Google's starting to rebound. I'm going to add to this. We got 2 contracts here. I'd like a little bit more. Took half off. Take the other half off there. Nvidia's fading though. Look at Nvidia. So easy movement today, to be honest. Yeah, easy movement. Curious what's Meta doing. Meta's kind of flat. AMD's pumping back up to 210s. Maybe it's time to buy AMD this morning. Nvidia's starting to fade though. Bitcoin's fading back down too. Bitcoin now under 86,000, or at least right around it. You guys think it's time to buy or sell this? Let me know in chat. All right, so we're starting to rebound a little bit. I would watch Google right now. Google's at 315 or 314.50s. Nvidia's looking closer to lows here. But all right, so we're starting to make a move up here. Look at this pop. Yeah, look at Google rise, Nvidia rising back up. Yeah, don't copy me. Not an investment professional here, guys. Don't do it. Yeah, there goes Google, make a pop. I'm gonna try to buy this right here. I didn't quite get the best entry, but actually that's a pretty good entry. I'm gonna immediately take that off and see if we push up some more. There we go. I made like $50 in 10 seconds. What am I up here now? Easy day to make money on the long side here, guys. Look at Google, guys. Google up to almost 317s right now. Don't do it, man. Not an investment professional. You gotta read the top of the screen, bro. Here's a dip. Look at Nvidia. Look at Bitcoin. Nvidia down to 178. Look at this drop. See, Google's still right around the highs. Nvidia's not the strongest this morning, but Google's still up there. Look at Google pump. Bitcoin just cracked this bottom area. It's at 85.5s or so. Google's still pushing. Let's see if Nvidia rebounds. Yeah, Bitcoin just fell. Still dropping. All right, so we're kind of consolidating. Google's still pushing up. It's almost a 317. Yeah, here I can fix it. Oh, I see Bitcoin's getting blocked. It's all good. There you go. Yeah, Google is what's really moving markets. So Bitcoin down a little bit. I kind of want to short this, to be honest, just because like Google, I might be talking myself into a short. Google is up to highs. The question is Google going to keep pumping, right? And is this going to bring Nvidia and other tech stocks back? If Google rejects here a little bit and starts coming back down, I kind of want to short the NASDAQ here. There's the drop. Should have shorted. It's so whippy right now, though. Big size. And I don't want to short it and have Google rip up over highs again and continue up, but it looks like a short, but it also could just be a dip buy and we can just rip up. If Nvidia starts to climb back up with everything else, then that might drag everything higher, so I'm just waiting. I don't necessarily trust this that much. And maybe it's a good thing I waited. Nvidia back up to 178. Yeah, it just depends on if Nvidia follows it, but Google looks like it wants to break highs again. So I'm gonna watch 700s, but I've made enough today. I haven't really had any losing trades really, and so I've made enough where I want to be really selective if I get into another trade. Google looks strong here though. Check to see some. There's the pullback here. You know, so there's the dip. Check to see some. There's the pullback here. All right, good. So let's see. I'm gonna short this. All right, I'm gonna try it. We're gonna start small though. We're gonna start very small. But I see some stuff dipping down now. All right, we're in very small. There we go. I'm gonna add to this now. A little risky right here though. We got a cushion now. Let's see if it continues. All right, I'm gonna take half off, lock that in. There we go. I'm gonna take that off there too. Just quick. I'm not an investment professional, bro. I don't know half of what I'm talking about. Not liable if you lose. Make your own assessment. Figure it out. Can't guarantee anything. Here's the breakdown. I thought Google would pull back a little bit and that would drive this back down. And NVIDIA was already looking weak, is why I had like a short thesis earlier, like a couple minutes ago. I'm going to switch accounts now, though. We're up a lot in this one. We'll move on to a different one. Which one is this? Maybe this one is the right one to trade. Let's see. There's probably some Broadcom news. Let me check for you. White House says president and Chinese president spoke by phone. The Chinese president said that U.S. president that relations between the nations need to continue the positive momentum. Do I want to short this now? It's a different account. And there's a drop. Should have shorted. All right, so we're starting to pop back up. Meta. Hey, good for Meta. Santa rally? Yeah, maybe. Again, Google up there, NVIDIA bouncing back, Meta's up. Bitcoin's still down. Now we're starting to creep up. Let's see if Google can keep the momentum up here is what it really probably takes. Bitcoin back up too. Here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA's fighting way back up. It's at 178. Oof. Yeah. In a range right now, though. I don't know if I trust any of this yet. I gotta kind of wait. Still waiting here, guys. Market wants facts. Market is tired of empty words. Yeah, I mean, we're up from the China-U.S. President Trump meeting, you know. I'm watching Google right now. I think Google's moving the market today. Google pushing up testing highs. Nvidia also is, of course, but as well as, like, again, y'all check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures, so you can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, commodities. No PDT rule. Great way to learn when most day traders lose money. $50 risk is better than funding thousands in your account and losing it like most new traders end up doing. But I'm a partner of theirs. I'm biased, of course, because I get paid by them. But they're genuinely useful. Great way to learn. I would say probably the best way to learn in futures. Oh, man. And, yeah, we'll see what happens here. 10 a.m. is almost here. I'm going to cut it early here, though, today, guys. Just because I'm traveling right now. I'm on a computer setup, and, yeah. Kind of moving right now, so. But, again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. I'll put the link up one more time. Again, most day traders lose. You got to make $3K in profit to get funded without losing $2K first, following their rules and conditions. And you want to confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. Of course, not liable if you lose. Understand all the stuff on screen, but genuinely useful. I'm just very green on the day, guys, and like I don't want to give it back too much, right? So understand all this stuff on screen. I'm very green. I don't want to give it back. We'll be here bright and early tomorrow morning for PPI inflation. So we'll be here bright and early tomorrow morning for PPI inflation data. So be ready. That's going to be a big day. And yeah, as soon as we close this stream, it'll bring you to tomorrow's PPI stream. And yeah, it should be fun. We'll see. When was the last PPI stream? Hold on. Let me make this right. Okay. Sorry, hold on. Google's making me do something here. NASDAQ's kind of flat anyway. All right. What do we have? We got inflation data. Again, remember, we got the ADP non-farm employment change data as well. So we got a bunch of stuff, to be honest, that's dropping. Just be ready, chat. Be ready. Again, as soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you to tomorrow's stream, but just be ready. NASDAQ's starting to creep back up. Look at this pop. Again, watch Google today. I think Google is the one that, like, that's going to move markets. Google's the big one that is up so much on the day that it's just relevant. Oh, I forgot to schedule the right time. Tomorrow's the 25th. And we're going to be starting exactly at 6:15 now since we got our stream set up. I wanted to make sure I got everything set up today. So that's why I started late this morning. But yeah, again, I'll see you guys over tomorrow. Where we go? I'm gonna have to like go to Walmart and buy a mouse. Let me get this disclaimer off the screen for you guys. All right, guys. I'll see you guys over there tomorrow. I'm trying to manage all this right here. Later, guys. Y'all have a great day.